All right, Christopher, principal of the Success School here at the Greater Bloomington Chamber of Commerce. It's our 2021 STEM Fair. We want to just thank our sponsors real quick as we go to the second half of our programming. I'd like to thank Indiana University, the Cook Group, IU Credit Union, Ivy Tech Community College Bloomington, and Chase Bank. And right now we have our next guest here. They're going to bring us into the second half. We have Matt and Dustin from Amentum. If you gentlemen want to give us a little bit about your organization.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Matt Crouse, and I am a program manager at Amentum for microelectronics, supply chain awareness and security. And Amentum is a premier global technical and engineering services provider, specializing in defense, intelligence, security, environmental, and energy. We have currently 34,000 employees in all 50 states and 105 countries and territories around the world. We had a recent acquisition notice at the end of October. When that goes through, we'll be 54,000 employees with a combined revenue based on the last 12 months of a $9 billion company. So today we'd like to discuss logistics and how it connects to STEM. And technology has been helping changes in logistics the past several years with technology. So now we got Dustin here, who is a logistics manager at Amentum, and allow him to speak now.
Hi, good morning. My name is Dustin Todd. I am a logistics manager for Amentum over the electronic warfare program. And kind of want to go over what a few things that we do regarding logistics and how it relates to STEM. That's really a good question, interesting to put together. So what you have to do is STEM, the discipline of STEM actually incorporates all of logistics, engineering, design, proposal work, etc. So what you're looking at is, in the past, we have put together programs, excuse me, that have to be designed. So when you look at that, we have to have engineers that are electrical or mechanical, and they go through and design the requirement needs per customer. So with that being said, we look at the talent recruited for those backgrounds, but the key component that you have to remember with logistics would be it interoperates all of that disciplines for supply management. So some of the things that came to mind with me was, a lot of people ask, well, what do I need to do to focus on that discipline? Where do I need to focus my studies? Obviously in high school, you need to take some advanced placement courses. I would recommend something in the lines of Excel or project, Gantt charting, that we can forecast out, because that's what you're really doing, is supply management. College, you really definitely need to seek out guidance from your guidance counselor. Talk to them, find out what they would look, but there are very, very diverse courses that go into logistics management, business management, supply chain management. The next question I would think that you would do is, what do we really do? So that is the big white elephant, I guess. You are basically running everything. For example, in the last program I'd done for the Navy, we would talk to the customer, which would be the Navy or SP. Then they would take the requirements they need. We get a drawing, create something, go to vendors. So we've done everything from finances to tracking the parts, when they would come in, quality acceptance records, the costing, delays, shipping, and everything to get it to one central area. Then you can report that out to management or your customer. So basically logistics coming into that world or that arena would be the focus of supply chain management and making sure you're meeting customer requirements on a timely and ethical quality fashion in the most economical way.
Dustin, so your clients you get contract work from the Navy.
Yes.
But how many other subcontractors of subcontractors? Because it seems like you could get in some of these projects pretty complicated, or maybe you're just a small peg in a larger operation. Give us a sense of the scope of this, because it sounds between contract management and all of the other things.
The scope is extremely broad. We not currently, I do work for the Navy. contracts is through there, but however, we have various contracts with other military applications or private industries. So, as we said, we're a contractor, so we would go after the bids. Our main focus is infrastructure, of Navy contracts or military contracts and budgeting. If I'm forgetting something, Matt, let me know. I mean, the information technology, just businesses of sort of that.
So Matt, we can start with you. How did you end up here? Where's your passion lie, and that you could tell us in some areas that what sparked your interest? Because this is very complicated stuff.
Yeah. Well, my background was actually legal in Pennsylvania, and then I started working for my brother-in-law. He had a small company that specialized in flight simulation software. So he had contracts with DoD, and Flight Safety International was the biggest company he had. And so he provided software engineers for them. So I started out with him just as an office manager, and then security, and then did some recruiting for him. And then that led me out here. I was looking for a security related position and found one out here. I had no idea when they called me, because I applied on a lot of jobs. And when they called me from out here, I didn't, this was back in 2004. I didn't even, I said, what did I apply on in Crane, Indiana? I was looking on Yahoo Maps at the time. And then, so I came out here, and been out here since 2004 with the different legacy companies of Amentum. We became Amentum last February in 2020, but we were basically spun off from our old companies.
So your education, at least within this sector, is kind of on the job.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it wasn't coursework. And so give us a little sense of that learning curve, because I think people always think you need to sort of fine tune and be exactly as far as your education, but give us kind of a little sense of and what skills you had that made this career possible.
Well, what led to this then was I was in security for so long, doing the same job every day, and I was getting burned out on it. And a colleague knew that I had been looking, and she said that she had an opportunity that she thought my background, the security background and the legal background, which she didn't know a whole lot about, would work with this more of a counterintelligence and microelectronic supply chain analyst type work, logistics analyst. So that's how it started. And then new work came to be the program manager and the lead of it, which actually, when you get into the contracts, our contract is with the Navy, but my customer is actually the Air Force, but it's on a Navy contract because the money comes from DoD, and that's just how it feeds down to us. But there is collaboration between the Navy and the Air Force customer that I have. But so,
Dustin, a little bit, give us your history, how you had to sort of end up here. We talked a little bit off camera, but I wanted to.
Yeah, very sort of similar track that Matt had. Actually, I started out as a deputy sheriff, law enforcement, and got out of that after about 10 years. Buddy of mine worked for another contractor company, wanted me to go overseas for DynCorp at the time. Then just kind of led into that. As Matt said, I have no relevant course history for this type of work. My actually degrees are in Homeland Security Emergency Management. So, that's kind of where it's at. And as we went, I went in the quality arena for quite some time, and then ISO. So it was kind of like him. We worked for the same company. They seen I was kind of getting better term stagnant or feet going to sleep. And they said, hey, we got an opportunity for here, to be a project lead, program lead. And then I didn't realize at the time how much logistics really went into it, just being interactive with your customer and your client. So, I mean, you have to look at it that way. It's the big word they use in this arena is interoperability. You have to have communication with everyone and very detail orientated to be able to answer any questions at any time to give real-time information.
So who is Amentum hiring, right? Let's say if they're hiring somebody in logistics, or what else, other sort of jobs within the company. What are they hiring, and what kind of employees?
Globally, it's anything you can think of, but more locally, it is logistics managers, and then electronics technicians, electrical engineers, mechanical engineers. I don't think we have anything chemical what was that? Yeah, a lot of program support, program analysts, management analysts, and supply chain. But engineering is the
Yeah.
big thing that we do. But that's why. But logistics is we're in a push for logistics.
And is there a security background check? We're gonna have Crane Naval Base here, which I know there's certain levels, but if you're getting a job with Amentum, is there, some levels that people can expect? And is the process a long one to get?
Well, there's a standard HR background check, and then depending on your requirements for the job, but most people will have to, even if a security clearance is not required, you still have to go through the same background check, because just to issue you a badge for the government or give you a .mail email address, they want you to be clearance eligible, which means you go through the whole process and you actually are eligible for the clearance. You might not need it, so you don't have it, but there's different levels. There's secret and top secret, and there's other things in there too. But the process to get a secret, which is the typical one, it could take a year, but you get an interim level once you submit your paperwork. They do an initial review, basically look at it, run your fingerprints, look at your answers, and then most likely grant you an interim clearance, which gives you the same access that you would need, but you just can't have access unescorted. So
Gotcha.
somebody has to be there. So that usually comes within a couple months.
Okay. So it's within a couple months you're kind of.
And it's been very rare that there's ever been a position that, some positions will say you need it on day one, so you're going to have to find someone that already has one if they don't have enough work to keep you going for those. But sometimes if it is a new grad or something, there's enough stuff to get them up to speed.
Okay.
That they don't need it right away.
Because I've seen it's required. I'm like, well, you can't get it until it's the
you can't just get one. You have to have it. Yeah, you can't just go out and get one on your own. So, but the good thing is there's still, if you leave, if you decide you're done or you find another opportunity that doesn't require the clearance, you're still eligible for 24 months. After that, it can be turned right back on. So, which is a good thing if you want to come back to a job where you need it.
Okay, a final kind of two-part question, Matt. What's the most difficult part of your job, and what do you love most about it?
Most difficult part right now is my entire team they were all hired during the pandemic, and they were going to be they're in 3 different locations in the country. They all work from home. They would have worked from home anyways. That's the way it was set up. But just that I work with them daily, but I've never met any of them, personally. But we use Microsoft Teams and communicate constantly. But that's the most difficult, not having that actual face-to-face or getting in a room together, and working on things. And then just the thing I love the most is what the team does, what they create, how when we get kudos basically from the customer, or we know what they're going to do with what we provided and where it could lead to different things. And that's always good to have. So,
Dustin?
Probably, I would have to say, since I'm in supply management, the most frustrating that I have is obviously with getting vendors' responses, and that's just due to the times, the COVID, supply chain, everything like that. That's probably the most frustrating. I mean, for example, they have me tasked with completely renovating a building. And you would think, how does that go with logistics? Well, you have the key component, everything from renovations, electrical, hardware, office cubicles, internet drops, everything that would require.
A lot of project management.
Yeah, a lot of project management. So that's probably, to me, the most frustrating, is because our customers are wanting these answers and my supervisors want the answers. And sometimes we say, hey, a week later, I haven't heard from someone. It's difficult to explain. So you constantly in this line of work, you have to constantly be in contact with people. You almost have to have a personality of outgoing. Probably the most rewarding is, I'm going to be honest, it feels like Amentum is like a family, kind of like what Matt said. Everyone, we really work well together, and no matter if you're the operations manager, all the way up to management out in Dahlgren or even in Texas, they know you on a first name basis and they treat you like family. So it is like a family group at Amentum, and that is something hard to find. I've worked at many different places, and that truly is something difficult to find. So as Matt said, we come together as a family, as a group, build something, and we work together. And that's what I really enjoy. This is the
Great.
collaboration.
Well, Matt Dustin from the Amentum family, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it. And we'll be
Thank you.
back in just a minute.
Thank you.